All right, we got this Mighty Mule automatic gate we're trying to install on a, where did I get this from? I think Tractor Supply. I can't even remember. I think it's like a 12-foot gate. Not that that even matters. So you can see the center support for this gate is up on the upper quarter. Well, Mighty Mule recommends that you have where you mount your cylinder in the center of the gate, which makes sense. Otherwise, it'll tend to want to twist the gate. This gate's pretty light. I mean, I just kind of grabbed it and put it on my shoulder and walked over it pretty easy. So the reason I mentioned that, I don't know if that would be a positive or negative for just trying to mount the cylinder up on the top portion. I mean, I feel since it is lightweight and flimsy, it might really tweak it around. And it's not gonna be that much work. So what I'm gonna do, also, if they mentioned in the instructions, if it's 250 pounds or more, the gate is, that you want some ball bearing mounts that have greasable Zerk fittings. Like I said, this gate is super light, so it shouldn't have any problem. I had a spare piece. I was originally gonna look for some tube, which I do have some tube, but I had this spare piece of unistrut, and I think I'm just gonna use it. It's already got these holes so that you can bolt up the bracket pretty easily, I would think, for the hydraulic ram. All right, so I measured my center points, the center of the gate horizontally. I'm going to use this unistrut. I measured the 66.75 is the tip, or the inside of the curve here. So then I eyeballed it, measured, made kind of a mark, and just eyeballed it about a ½ an inch back for where the unistrut will come around to. And I don't have, the closest hole saw bit I have is this one. This is real close, about maybe a 1/16 on either side, to being the same diameter as the gate tube. So what I'm gonna do is mark a ½ an inch. Let me see, a ½ an inch further away from the 6.75. And then that, if I let that, the outside of the hole saw land on that spot, it should make this shallower, so that I'd have to grind the middle out a little bit for it to fit tight. We'll cut one end and make sure. I'm not trying to overthink it or anything, but you can see, so a little bit of a gap, really not much. I mean, I'll probably just nick that inside a little bit right there with a grinder on either side. I'm gonna measure off of that to get my other cut, and then we'll fit it in there, grind everything clean, all around the gate, get this galvanized back some, and tack it in. So just kind of eyeballed this next one. use this square, but hell, you could just do it. You could just eyeball it and draw it. And then used it here. Made some marks. I'm just gonna line it up where the edges of the hole saw are gonna hit through here. Make sure it doesn't go too deep here. If it looks like it's gonna be too far this way, I'll pull them back just a little more. So, as you can see, I did cut it a little long, and then I'm just gonna go in and start grinding in, working towards that point. Do the same on the bottom, and just slowly kind of fit it in. I just don't want big gaps. I went around, I only had a mark on one side. I kind of continued it around, so I have a reference point of my distances on all sides. I'm going to work this down around like that, towards that. Same over here. What I'm going to do now is kind of draw with the Sharpie so that I can try and take some of the paint off the gate so that you have a little cleaner metal to weld to. It's not great prep, but it's just a lightweight fence. Got it all fitted in, put some Steel-It on it, which is some stainless steel, weldable BS. I'll weld it in. So the welds turned out okay. This is kind of thinner stuff than I think I've ever welded before. So kind of blew through it a little bit. Here, let's see right here. Last night, that's what I was finishing up. And I just kept blowing through it. Everything was real hot. It was getting late, so we'll see if I can get it filled in. Now it's all cool. All right, got the hole filled. Seemed to help a little bit. I decided not to be lazy and ground me a spot for my ground. Got it filled. It ain't pretty, but it'll work. And I Scotch-Brighted the whole thing. Did some of the bottom of the gate where it's scraped throughout the years. Just gonna run a little green paint over all of it. Help it look a little better and keep it from rusting out a little sooner. All right, out here on this mighty mule, just kind of set it up. I stepped out, my son held it up here. I stepped to the other side and just lined it up. You know, they say to use a level, but there's some adjustability in the bracket up and down. So then we marked our center points, 3/8 inch drill bit for these lag bolts that they supply. There's the bracket. You can see how much play it has, so you can adjust it. so that this will reach all the way through, because I don't have any long 3/8 drill bits. I'm just putting it on the very end for the last little bit, the very end of the bit there. I'll move the focus. Just, and that way the point will poke through, and then I'll be able to come from this side. Before anybody says anything, yeah, this 4x6 is mounted the wrong way. My oldest boy is an auto mechanic. He asked me how to mount it. He was mounting it, and I described it wrong. So either way, a 4x4 would work for this setup. So you can see that regular wood bit with the bit just barely in will give me heck, some of it's already almost finished. But give me a little guide hole to drive them through.
Take that side now.
All right, so realized, you know, I had this Mighty Mule automatic gate opener for a while now. I don't know, 3-4 months maybe. It's been doing pretty good. We have had, which right before this section of the video, that nut that I put that arrow to and said to pay attention to that has come loose a couple of times. And then, but the first time it came loose, it was because the gate was, it was closing really hard. We were having trouble adjusting it. It was closing really hard, hitting that really hard. But so far it's been working pretty good. You can see from the box to my house, well, I got a lot of debris. You can see the house over there, and it's about, there's some rooms on that side of the house right here, and then the modem and the receiver and stuff for that are on the opposite side of that part of the house. Oh, sorry. So, and it connects, really hadn't had issues with that too much. We had it disconnect a couple times, but it's been doing well. Other than that, like, you know, some things I need to, like, probably just cut these off, grind any sharp edges smooth. Same with this stuff here. But it's been good. It's been charging good. Yeah, it's been working good. So I'm not going to, you know, in that video, as far as like installing the system itself, just follow the instructions. It's all, for the most part, pretty straightforward. We had a couple of issues kind of getting it adjusted right, and actually it needs to be adjusted again. So let me see here. You just use the app and shut it, and you can see it does need to be readjusted. Anyway, so that's a wrap on that. It has been really convenient having that. We'll catch you guys later.